Camilla, Cam, as everyone calls her, leans against the kitchen counter, wiping down the high chair with slow, deliberate movements. She watches as her daughter, Polly, sits in her bouncer, cooing happily and waving a plush giraffe in the air. It's her first day back at work after maternity leave, and Luke is nowhere to be found. She tells herself not to overthink it. He's probably working. Still, it's strange. She checks her phone. No messages. No missed calls. Nothing from Luke. Her grip tightens around the dishcloth as she takes a deep breath. It's not like him to just disappear, not on a day like this. He knows how nervous she is about going back to work. He knows how much she's dreading this transition. Wouldn't he at least send a text? Polly lets out a delighted squeal, throwing her giraffe onto the floor. Cam picks it up and hands it back, offering a distracted smile. Polly has Luke's eyes, his dark, thoughtful gaze that always seems to hold a joke just waiting to be told. She feels a pang in her chest. Her phone buzzes. She grabs it instantly, but it's not Luke, it's her sister, Libby. Libby has sent their usual morning selfie. Her face still flushed from a run, headphones in, a casual grin. Beneath it, a text. First day back. You got this. XX*. Cam exhales and quickly takes a selfie of her own, forcing a reassuring smile before sending it back. A few seconds later, another message pops up. The Times crossword clue today is, best-selling thriller author, 5 letters. Cam rolls her eyes. Maya, of course. Maya Jones is one of her biggest clients, wildly successful, a household name. The royalties alone from Maya's books could probably cover Cam's mortgage for years. But Maya is also a handful, always in the middle of some PR disaster or personal crisis. The kind of client who never truly gives you a day off. Hope she sends you flowers, * Libby texts. Doubt it. She's about to put her phone down when she hesitates, then quickly types out another message. Have you heard from Luke? Libby's reply is instant. No. Why? No reason. Except there is. Because it's not just that Luke hasn't texted her. It's the silence. The absence. The way it feels like a weight pressing down on her chest. She glances around the kitchen, and that's when she notices it, the note. It's sitting on the hallway table, half hidden beneath a stack of unopened mail. Her heart stutters as she picks it up. Luke's handwriting, unmistakable. One side has been scribbled over, words blacked out in hurried strokes. On the other side, a single sentence remains. It's been so lovely with you both. LX. She stares at it. A goodbye note? No, that would be absurd, wouldn't it? She swallows hard, resisting the urge to read too much into it. Maybe it's just a sentimental message, a sweet little thing to mark the end of her maternity leave. She's being paranoid. Sleep deprivation does that. Shaking her head, she folds the note and slips it into her pocket. She'll ask him about it later. Right now, she has to focus. She straps Polly into the baby sling and heads out. The morning is bright and warm, the kind of perfect June day that makes the city feel alive. Sunlight filters through the trees, dappling the pavement as she walks. Polly, nestled against her chest, hums softly. At the nursery, Cam hesitates before handing her over to the caregiver. It's irrational, she knows, but the moment Polly's weight leaves her body, she feels something close to grief. Polly looks at her, wide-eyed, before reaching out a tiny hand. Cam almost caves, almost scoops her right back up. But she forces herself to smile, to nod, to say, "You're going to have such a fun day." Polly, oblivious to the significance of this moment, simply turns her attention to a brightly colored toy. Cam steps back. Then, because she can't help herself, she checks her phone. Still nothing from Luke, but something catches her eye, his WhatsApp status. Last seen at 5:10 a.m. Her stomach tightens. That was hours ago. Luke is always on his phone, always messaging, scrolling, checking notifications. For him to be offline this long is unusual. Maybe he's just writing. Yes, that makes sense. He's a ghostwriter, after all. Maybe he's deep in a project, unplugging from the world. Still, she can't shake the feeling that something is off. By the time she reaches her office, she's running on autopilot. The familiar scent of books, ink, and coffee fills the air, grounding her. She exhales, pushing her worries about Luke aside. She has a job to do. Her boss, Stuart, greets her with a warm smile. He's tall, always slightly disheveled, the kind of man who looks like he belongs in a dusty library. "Welcome back," he says, clapping her on the shoulder. "How does it feel?" Cam forces a smile. "Ask me in an hour." He chuckles. "I get it. You'll find your rhythm again." They talk shop, upcoming deals, potential clients. She tells him about Adam, a debut novelist she discovered during maternity leave. His book, about the son of a YouTube star suing his parents for privacy violations, has the makings of a bestseller. She's already sent it to publishers, hoping for a bidding war. It feels good to be in this world again, to lose herself in manuscripts and negotiations. For a while, she forgets about Luke, until she checks her phone again. Still no message. Her fingers hover over the call button, but she hesitates. What if he doesn't answer? And then she remembers last night. They were in bed, eating Jaffa cakes, Polly finally asleep after an exhausting day. She had been venting, about motherhood, about how she felt like she was failing at everything. Luke had listened, nodding, handing her another biscuit instead of offering solutions. That was what she loved about him. He knew when to fix things and when to just be there. And then, right before they turned out the lights, he'd said something that lingers in her mind now. "If you're ever drowning, you shout, 'Yeah? And I'll rescue you.'" She had laughed, kissed him, told him he was stuck with her. But now, sitting in her office, her chest tightens. Had she missed something? Had he been trying to say something important? The note. The last scene at 5:10. The silence. She opens her messages and types. "Where are you?" A pause. Then, her phone buzzes. But it's not Luke. It's Libby. One word. Also. Her stomach clenches. Something is wrong. She can feel it. And still, no word from Luke. Here's a 500-word summary. Camilla, Cam, feels lightheaded, almost as if she's floating. As she walks through the foyer of her workplace, a literary agency, she struggles to ground herself. Shock, fear, those must be the reasons. Then, the police approach her. "Are you the wife of Luc Deschamps?" Cam confirms, initially relieved that they aren't here for her baby, Polly. But when DS Stephen Lambert and PC Emma Smith ask to speak privately, her heart pounds. Something is wrong. "Is Luke okay?" she asks. Yes. Relief floods her, until Lambert continues. There is a hostage situation unfolding. Cam has already heard about it on the news. A man has taken 3 hostages in a warehouse in Bermondsey. The word stuns her. Luke's co-working space is in Bermondsey. A dizzying panic rises in her. She fumbles for her phone, wondering why Luke hasn't responded to her texts. "Is he okay?" Lambert hesitates. "Your husband hasn't been taken." "Oh, good." Then, he delivers the real blow. "We believe that he is the person who has taken the hostages." The words don't compute. Cam's mind rejects them. What? No, he isn't. It's absurd, a mistake. But then Lambert shows her a video, the same one that's been on the news. The hostages sit motionless, black hoods covering their heads. The scene is like something from a thriller, not real life. Then, a man steps into frame. He paces before the captives, tall and slim, dressed in dark clothes. Cam watches, waiting to spot the mistake, waiting for her brain to prove this isn't Luke. But then he turns toward the camera. It's only a second, a fleeting moment, but it's him. Denial grips her. She replays the video, searching for anything that proves otherwise. But then she sees it, the scar on his forehead from a bicycle accident. His distinctive trainers. His walk. It is Luke. Panic overwhelms her. She sets the phone down, pressing her face into her hands as tremors rack her body. "Is this real?" she finally whispers. "Yes." She demands proof, clinging to the hope of a mistake. Lambert lays it out methodically. Facial recognition software confirms it's Luke, technology that's never wrong. His phone was traced to the warehouse before being switched off. The evidence is damning. Still, Cam's mind resists. How can this be true? Luke, the man she has loved for 4 years, a hostage taker? As they leave the meeting room, she notices the tattoos on Lambert's arms. One reading "Protect and Serve*", another, "Wings spanning his back." Something about his dedication unsettles her. Outside, the summer sun glares down. Pedestrians walk past, oblivious. Inside the police car, Cam's body trembles uncontrollably. She sees her colleagues watching from the glass foyer, stunned, their mouths open as if they're observing an animal in a zoo. She doesn't understand. She can't. But the truth is undeniable. Luke has done this.